Chelsea Football Club are monitoring Alphonso Davies, and I'm here to tell you, don't get your hopes up. Furthermore, Badiashile has top clubs from France and a European giant looking at him, and Chelsea are batting the interest away. And we preview Chelsea versus Brentford. Enzo Maresca talks about the possibility of replacing Sanchez as the #1 goalkeeper, Nicholas Jackson and his importance, and why he was upset at the end of the game against Spurs. He also mentions how we've got a good work ethic around us, and more importantly, what his wingers need to do to stay in the team. It's a very interesting video. There's a lot to decipher. There's a lot to dig into. So let's get started without further ado. But you need to pay the rent. The rent is very simple. You hit the like button. It's basically free. It's just a little bit of effort. So you've done it. Thank you very much. Furthermore, subscribe to the channel if you're new and you enjoy this type of content. And let's get started with the news. So Alphonso Davies is the type of signing that Chelsea would have definitely secured under Roman Abramovich and under Marina Gajaskayeva's tenureship. However, Chelsea have really moved away from this type of signings. A lot of you are going to say, what have they moved away from? World-class players, paying the best of the best to come in. Well, I'm going to say two mistakes there. Number one, he isn't the best of the best. And number two, I don't think he's world-class. A lot of you are going to attack me for this. However, what is going on? The Athletic is reporting Chelsea are one of the clubs monitoring the situation for Alphonso Davies in the summer. For me, this is as nailed on as it can get. He is going to Manchester United or he's going to Real Madrid in that left-back position. He is a free agent in the summer. He's asking for somewhere in the realm of 250k. So straight away, if you lot track the Victor Osimhen news this summer, you know we're not paying that kind of wages. And furthermore, I'd go as far as saying I would rather pay Victor Osimhen that kind of wages than pay Alphonso Davies that kind of wages. And I wouldn't pay either one of them if it was actually my choice. But if I had to choose, this is what I'm going to say. Alphonso Davies is a very good athlete. He's a very good player in a team that plays with wing backs. A team like Manchester United, a team that's going to need somebody to run up and down, high energy, high octane, put in a good cross. That's him. He's got very good crossing technique, strikes the ball very well. However, Alphonso Davies technically is not very gifted. In my opinion, in tight spaces with 1-2 type touches, passing, he is not one of the best left backs in the world. For me, a Theo Hernandez is better. That's the one that, in my opinion, if someone said he's available for free, I'd be going mad. I'd say break the structure. Go get this type of player because he could invert, he could do a lot of the stuff that a midfielder does. He's basically an upgrade on Cucurella. However, for me, do not get your hopes up with this one because Chelsea might be monitoring. I don't see Chelsea paying the wages that he wants. He earns phenomenal money at Brighton, and the fact that Manchester United and Real Madrid are interested, they're going to pay the crazy wages. Chelsea aren't. London is not that much of a draw for people to turn down an extra 150k a week. Trust me. Nobody makes me look more stupid than Benoit Badiashile. Let me explain. I think he's a great player, right? Or at least when I watch him, I go, you are strong, you're big, you're good on the ball, you're quick, you should be a phenomenal defender. Genuinely, everything about him screams, on paper, this guy is a tank and should be a great enforcing defender. You watch him play, 80 minutes, phenomenal. 10 minutes of absolute lunacy follows. And I go, am I stupid for hyping him up? Am I absolutely stupid? Because he consistently lets me down. And I've always said this, and people have said, Alec, it's bad form. And I've said, you know what? It's bad form. It's bad form. And then what ended up happening? The form under Potter was only 3 months, and everything else we've seen has been for around about 18 months. So I'm like, well, surely the form was the form under Potter. Everything else is the reality. This is what he is. Like, just an inconsistent player. However, Fabrice Hawkins, and for those of you that watch my channel, you know when Fabrice Hawkins tells you something about a French player, it's true. This guy is in the know. He is super cold when it comes to the information. However, what he said is there are a lot of top Ligue 1 clubs that are interested. Does not shock me. Marseille, Lyon if they had the money, PSG. I could believe all of these clubs would want Benoit Badiashile at the club. He would fit that league tremendously. More importantly, he's played in that league and looked very good. That earned him to move to the Chelsea. However, and this is where he gets interested, Juventus are keen for this. Under Motta, Juventus are a different team. They're a team in high possession, and for me, in a slower league, he would absolutely dominate. He would. I have no doubt he would. The issue with Benoit Badiashile is, Benoit Badiashile has brain farts. His passing will be outstanding. He'll be good, it'll be crisp, he'll be energetic. And then he just decides, hold on, let me just pass the ball to someone else. And It's like, Benoit, you don't need to do that. You're too talented to be having these games in your mistakes in your game. For me, what needs to happen is he needs regular game time. He needs 15 to 20 games, and then you can see, yeah, this is getting better, or this is just him and you need to move off him. However, he's got the perfect opportunity for this because Fofana is hurt, and at this moment in time, left centre back looks like it's his because Toussaint and Disasi just went to an away game that was 8 hours away. Badiashile will be starting. He has got competition from Josh Achimpong, Disasi and Toussaint going forward, but it's his place not to lose that situationship that he has at the moment at that left back position. However, the report from Fabrice Hawkins also says Chelsea have slammed the door. They are not interested in selling this guy. I don't believe that, because I think if an offer of 30 million comes in, 35 million, I see them biting that. Because the way things are going, I could see him becoming an asset that's going to be hard to move. No one will want to pay that kind of money, and what would end up happening is when you sign him, you most probably make a profit on the books, and I think it's the same fee that we paid for him back then. So it's an interesting one. In the comments below, let me know. 35 million bid comes in 1st of January. Are you accepting? Yes or no? Chelsea versus Brentford has really been a bogey game for us, in my opinion. The way everything's been with Brentford and the way Chelsea have been operating when it comes to Brentford, we have sucked. And the press conference that is going to follow, that I'm going to talk about, will really paint the picture of... Enzo Maresca knows this. Enzo happily said, look, we need to make sure we are on game. We need to make sure we're on point. We're doing all our fundamentals and the fans are behind us. And I wondered, why is he so defensive about this? Well, when I went and checked our record against Brentford, it is nasty. It is disgusting. It's stinky. It's a smelly poo-poo record. Like, genuinely, it's a smelly poo-poo. So what is it? 7 games since they've been promoted to the Premier League, Cup and League games. So since they've been an established Premier League side, we've got 2 wins, 2 draws, 3 defeats. So out of 7 occasions, we've won twice. That is bad. The last 5 games, loss, draw, loss, loss, draw. It's not good. It's not looking good, fella. It's absolutely not looking good, bratucha. We need to win on Sunday. 7 p.m. We need to win. I need to come onto this and I need to have my glass. I need to be smiling, and I need to tell you guys, we're about that business. We're a serious institution. We are a very, very big club that goes and handles their business, and we're still in the title race. A lot of people are going to attack me. We're not in the title race. We are in a title race. It doesn't mean we're going to win it. It doesn't mean that we are favourites for it. Nor does it mean me saying we are in a title race put any other pressure on the players. They don't watch the Kavkas View, and if they do, toughen up. My words don't impact the way you play. Genuinely. The only thing that people don't want to say is because rivals will laugh at us if we don't win the league. Who cares what they think? Who genuinely cares what they think? I don't care what rivals think, because for me, I've got eyes, and the way we've been playing this year, the standard that we've been setting on a week in, week out basis, the players deserve to hear these words. You're doing very well. You're in a title race. Now continue it. Keep winning the way you're winning, and trust me, you'll catch Liverpool. My personal opinion. Let me know your thoughts. Let's get into the press conference. The first thing he spoke about, and there are 3 key things that I took away from this. The first one was about Nicholas Jackson. So a lot of people made videos about Nicholas Jackson and his upset nature at the end of the game. And a lot of people drew a lot of conclusions from it, especially on Twitter. I saw, there was a tweet that went around, he's selfish, he only cares about himself. What nonsense, what waffle. And I hate that kind of analysis, because Nicholas Jackson on multiple occasions has proven to us he is more than just about himself. He wants to win trophies, he wants to represent this club properly, and if you've watched his interview on the Chelsea YouTube channel, it is phenomenal. You really get a deep dive on his mentality. He is a top professional. He knows what he has. He's going to fight tooth and nail to keep it. He knows how privileged and how special that Chelsea number 9 position is, and he wants to make sure he does not lose it. And for me, this is amazing. Enzo Maresca said he was upset because he didn't score a goal. And that's the only reason he was upset. Not because I took him off, but because he didn't score a goal. And for me, I would be upset too. After the game, I said, Nico, you need to do better. And I gave you reasons why. A lot of you have attacked me because of what I said about John Obi Mikel's criticism. I'll tag that in at the end of the video for those of you that didn't watch it. But I gave you reasons why I think he should have done better. I didn't just say he has to score week in, week out. What a stupid reason. Nobody scores week in, week out. Go and check Haaland's stats this year. He doesn't score week in, week out. Osimhen in Turkey doesn't score week in, week out. 5 goals in 9 games does not count as week in, week out. Jackson's numbers are very good. Jackson's numbers are the reason why he's starting for Chelsea at the moment. And the reason why he's so upset is because Jackson definitely hears and reads when people, the minute he doesn't score, it gets in his head. He said he goes and looks for that kind of stuff. It motivates him. For me though, I don't think we need to jump to conclusions every time he's a little bit upset. He's emotional. He looks at stuff and says, I didn't do well. I need to be better. Thank you. I'd rather have a player like that than someone that doesn't care. Furthermore, he gave 2 reasons, apparently, Enzo Maresca, to why he spoke to Nicholas Jackson to remind him about something. Number 1, the yellow card incident. He says, we pick up a lot of stupid yellow cards. And this is one of those opportunities where Jackson's looking out for the team and said, no, we don't need a yellow card. Smart. I love it. Simple. Efficient. Secondly, apparently when it went 2-2, all of us were jumping up and down. Let's don't lie. I was jumping up and down on this sofa like, yeah, let's go win this game. Everyone's in the, at the Chelsea end celebrating. Jackson runs to pick up the ball, telling his teammates, let's go, let's win this game. Mentality. This is somebody that wants to win trophies and understands beating Spurs isn't all that. Winning games, putting another 3 points on the board is smart. I loved that Enzo Maresca came out and gave these clarity for us. And sorry if I'm a bit passionate, that's why you come here though, so I'm not going to apologize. Soraya asked a great question regarding what does Jurgensen have to do to compete for that spot? Because the wingers are competing. In this case, what does Jurgensen have to do? And the question was brilliant because it's what we think, right? As fans, I've always wondered, like, why is Jurgensen not on number 1? Enzo Maresca said, as long as they both maintain their current level, I don't see a reason to change. And more importantly, they're both performing very well. We disagree on this. However, I'm not going to cook Enzo Maresca because I disagree with him, because he's given us clarity. In his eyes, in his 2 los ojos, not his nose, his 2 eyes, los ojos, he believes that Sanchez is doing well. He's doing what he's asked of, and he's performing to a standard that Enzo Maresca believes is high level. Fair enough. Fair enough. If you believe that, Enzo, that's you. Because you make the decisions. If we win, you get the praise. If we lose, you get the blame. So who am I to sit here and cuss you out and say make the change? Because in reality, if I say we're in a title race and Sanchez is in goal and you're making those decisions, evidently you're like, yo, it's working. So it is what it is. Personally, I would make the change, but he's given us the reason to why he's picking him. He believes both players are performing to a high standard. And the final thing he spoke about was, he was asked a question regarding Sancho and shooting. And he basically somehow went on a tangent, and we ended up at a very interesting place. So he said, Sancho, yeah, in the beginning, he wasn't shooting very much. He was always in a position, looked up, looking for the assist. And when he's looking for the assist, what ends up happening was it becomes predictable. So he needs to mix it up. And you know what? To be fair, he's been doing it. And then he went into a little soliloquy where he's talking about players need to do more than just score an assist. It's the attitude. It's the enthusiasm of when they play. It's the defensive work rate. It's being able to contribute. And he said this is something that he's seen from Noni, Neto. And he proceeded to name his wingers. And he was like, that's what keeps you in the team as well. And for me, this is super important. He went on after to say, look, you put challenges out for players need to step up. Enzo Fernandez is one example. Noni Madueke is another example. Sancho is another example. And I'm guessing, you know, João is another example. We've seen him call out players. We've seen him say, look, this needs to happen, this needs to happen, this needs to happen. And genuinely, I mean it, he is absolutely spot on. We need to be realistic with what we can achieve this year, but at the same time, we need to push these players. These players can become absolutely amazing for the club. We are in a good place. 3 points is what we expect this weekend. 3 points is hopefully what we get. However, if you want more Kavkas View and want more videos because you just love the content, number 1 up here, I've got the review for the Astana 3-1 game. I talk about it in great detail, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. And over here, John Obi Mikel, my dearest and nearest friend, starts getting at Nicholas Jackson again. And I don't like it, you know it. But before you go, hit that like button. Peace out. Go watch the videos. Bye.